Hi everyone, this is week 28 of the 52-week project. The topic is abstract. It's going to be a fairly quick video, not too much work I have to do here. I'm going to start off here in Camera Raw. And the first thing I want to do is crop this image a little bit. So get some distractions here. This big white piece here kind of distracts me, and so does this corner up in this area over here. So I'm gonna crop this first. Start right there, and I'm using the same 4:3 crop ratio. I'm gonna get as close as I can there without taking away too much of the image here. So I'm just gonna hit enter, and it's a little bit dark, so I'm gonna grab the exposure here. I'm just going to move it up. So it looks pretty good. Maybe about 1.5 stops I'll go with it. I think that looks pretty decent. I'm going to add a bit of contrast to it as well. So pull that up. I don't want to go too dark. I don't want my attention to be on the patterns and the weird shapes and stuff that are going on in here, and not the dark areas. I'm going to bring up the highlights a little bit too, just to give it a little punch. A little bit more. Maybe right there. That looks pretty good. I'll preview that a bit. Like I said, I don't want it to be too dark, so I'm going to raise the shadows. I'm going to bring them up pretty high, right around there. It's still a bit dark in here, and a little bit in here. We'll fix that though. I want this color to go up, so I'm just going to raise the vibrance here. I mean, I could do saturation, but I don't like what it's doing in this white area over here. So I'm going to bump up the vibrance here. Yeah, I think I like that. It's a nice little punch to it. And back off just a little bit here. Oops. Okay, let's go into the adjustment brush, and let's try around 50%. And that's 50% on the exposure. I'm going to be raising it, I'm sorry, by half a stop, not percent. I'm just going to paint over this dark area here. And maybe a little bit over here as well. Just to balance it out. It will take a little bit of the contrast away from the image, but I don't want your eye drawn directly to the dark spot, so I'm going to just color a little bit on there. And I think I can actually raise this up a little bit. I think that looks pretty good there. Let me preview that and see what I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and I think that's good for right now. I'm going to go into Photoshop. There's really not much that needs to be done here. I'm going to rotate the image. put it into landscape format there. So I'm going to go to image rotation, and I'm going to rotate it clockwise 90 degrees. Oops. And looking at it, this bit down here is bothering me. It's the discoloration in it and darkness. It's just pulling my eye in that direction. So I'm gonna make a little selection around it. I'm gonna go to the polygonal lasso tool, and I'm just gonna click and move my way around the edge here. I accidentally double clicked here. I'm using my my pen right now, my tablet. I kind of double clicked there and closed that. So I'm just going to go over this again. As you can see, the selection doesn't need to be perfect. Close enough is going to be alright. So I'm going to try and neutralize the color here by adding green to it. So I'm going to go down to the adjustment layer menu here and go to solid color, and as it starts off it's just black, so I'm just going to use my eyedropper tool here and try and get a color be close to that area, maybe right around there. Try that. That might be a little too bright. Let's say just a little bit there. See, saturation. I'm gonna 100% saturation, and maybe make it a little darker. That looks pretty good there. That looks about right. Let's say 130. I'm just gonna click OK. And it just basically looks like a big blob. But when I change the blending mode to color, it will automatically bleed through and allow the underlying luminance values pass through. Might be a little bit too strong, so I'm going to move that down just a little bit. But if you notice, in each one of these little bubbles there's like a little yellowish highlight. That's actually sunlight coming through. I didn't have any other lights on. Actually, you know what? No, that's not sunlight. That's the paint from the walls. It's actually like a orange-colored room I was in. So this is a piece of Murano glass. It's a it was like an ashtray from like the 70s. I had picked up in what was it, a thrift shop, and I don't smoke, or no one in the house smokes anymore, so we just use it as a candy dish. But enough talking. Let me continue on with this. I'm going to choose a brush here and select my layer mask. And I'm at 100% opacity, but remember I'm using a tablet, pressure-sensitive tablet, so I can just zoom in to this area here. And I'm just going to paint in this area to bring back some of that color as you see it on these, in these highlight areas. Make the brush a little smaller. And just to keep the continuity of the image going there. I don't like that. Kind of just in these highlight areas. That's where that color was, so I'll just keep that going so it, looks like how it was in the image there. Maybe back that off a little bit. I'm going to hit X to swap out my colors and just paint a little bit back in on that. And hit X again. Let's see, maybe bring a little color in on these two over here. And that is it. You know what? Let me see what hue would look like. That doesn't look too bad. What about at 100%? No, I think I like color better. What hue is doing is just picking the actual color in the image. I know that sounds weird, but it's and the saturation would be, you know, the intensity of that hue, and then color is actually a combination of the saturation and the hue together, which makes color. So I'm going to put that back to that and just back it off a little bit. Say maybe 95%. If I can select it, there we go. 95%, hit enter. And that is it. Go to full screen here. Zoom in a little bit. And there we go. That is week 28. Alright everyone, I'll see you next week.